Well, so many conversations going on around the coronavirus, and particularly around schools, and then conversations around corruption as well. Let's speak to Herman Mashaba now. He, of course, is the leader of the People's Dialogue, a new political movement, I think we can say party now, Herman, that he's forming. Also the former Democratic Alliance member, mayor of the city of Johannesburg. Mr. Mashaba, good afternoon to you. Firstly, where are you on the schools issue? Is it the right decision to close schools?
Well, I think, Stephen, it's a really very difficult balancing act. But I think one thing that we must understand is that COVID-19 will. We've got to at the same time find ways to ensure that we don't compromise the education of our children. I think we're in this situation because 26 years of SARTU's interference in our education system has put our public schools in this environment. If COSATU and ANC government ran our education properly, every school in this country should really be having the technology to really be able to really run the schooling from home. Unfortunately, because of their interference in our education, we're where we are right now.
I have to say, just managing this pandemic poses all sorts of problems for governments. I mean, if you look at the criticism of our government, the lack of a coherent strategy, the fact that policies change, you hear the same complaints in Britain or America right now. Those are also democracies. It does seem that this is a very difficult situation to manage. I don't know if it's really possible to have one single, consistent, coherent strategy and apply it. What do you think?
Well, the thing is, ours, Stephen, it's exacerbated by our schools not even having toilets. So I think if you look at all the developed countries, yes, COVID has created a challenge, but ours, unfortunately, because of lack of infrastructure, like give an example, toilets and water, ours it's quite a unique one. And it's got nothing to do with COVID-19. This started long before COVID-19. We had our children falling into pit toilets long before COVID-19.
So this really also shows up our inequality, and we need to grow the economy. 10 million people unemployed, I think, is the last figure I saw. You used to be the chair of the Free Market Foundation. What kind of policy do you think we need to follow?
Well, first of all, we need to remove ANC from power because the Tripartite Alliance is not obviously good for our economy. You cannot have a government that is in bed with so-called communist and trade union movement. There's just no way that you can have a progressive economic policies. And also really dealing with the question of the rule of law and the level of corruption in our country. Through this the level of corruption, we've destroyed small businesses, particularly small businesses in our townships. You go in any township today, businesses are run by everybody else except South Africans. So this, unfortunately, has led to these high levels of unemployment and poverty in our communities.
I mean, and I wondered if you were going to go to the foreign nationals issue, Mr. Mashaba. You and I have discussed it many times, but I mean, even if every single job that is currently owned, formal or informal, that is currently given is currently occupied by, occupied is the wrong word, for every foreign national that's working in South Africa at the moment, even if all of them stopped and all of those jobs automatically went to South Africans, you'd probably still have 8 million unemployed South Africans. I don't know if it would make that much of a difference.
Oh, no. So, Stephen, without any doubt, it will make massive improvement to our economic situation. You'll probably improve our unemployment by roughly 3 million. I think we can get Stats SA, Home Affairs to really do the exercise. I can assure you, personally, you can add South African employment. You can add 3 million in our employment situation. So undocumented foreign nationals who are not adding any value to us are definitely depriving South Africans of roughly 3 million jobs.
Yeah, we'll argue about the figures. You and I will have the arm wrestle, I'm sure. I do want to talk generally about how you manage coronavirus. What's your advice for government? What would you be doing if you were the president? Maybe after the constitutional court change you will be.
Well, Stephen, look, coronavirus, you can't really blame it on any government. It's an international problem. The problem and the sad thing about us is that our economy was already on a stretcher into an ICU long before the coronavirus. And unfortunately, at the same time, depriving our people of education. I'm sure you're aware, Stephen, 80% of our public schools in this country are dysfunctional. Our hospitals are a shame, are an international embarrassment. Our rail network, our infrastructure. So the rule of law. How do you create an economy in an environment of breakdown of the rule of law? Because it's actually the rule of law and criminal justice system is the foundation of any nation. It's the foundation of any economic growth. So unfortunately, all these things, as much as coronavirus and this COVID-19 is unfortunate, but it helped to expose the corruption and the misalignment of ANC to the economic progress of our country.
There are local government elections next year. This is the first election that your movement, I'm presuming you will be the leader of it. I know that you issued a statement saying you might not be, but I know that you will be. It will be a very important election for you. There is some talk that the local elections could be postponed next year.
Well, let them try, Stephen, to postpone local government elections. Our country can't be run at the whim of the ANC. We've got a constitutional framework that anyone who occupies a public office has to have the mandate. So you can imagine now if you talk about the postponement of next year's local government elections, then must our country be leaderless? Because no one can really be in public office without having the mandate of the voters. So I think this for me is totally unacceptable for anyone to talk about the postponement of the elections. Fortunately enough, we've got our courts, which we will to go to ensure that no one must talk about the postponement of local government elections. I've heard the ANC talking about the alignment and synchronization of local government and national elections. I'm saying to them, you are most welcome to do this. If you feel confident that you want to operate within our constitutional framework, then bring the national elections to 2021 so that we can operate within the constitutional framework, and whoever governs at the back of having the mandate from the voters of South Africa.
Mr. Mashaba, you'll know that this is a very, very difficult time for all of us in South Africa, a difficult time for all of us around the world, but particularly here. Our inequality, sometimes I think the divisions are exacerbated as well. They're made worse. We're arguing a fair amount because of the coronavirus. What's your future for South Africa? Where do you think we're going to be in 5 years' time? Are we still going to be arguing with each other?
Well, to be honest with you, Stephen, and be honest with people of South Africa, as much as one is working around the clock to unseat the ANC, the damage that they've caused your economy, to be honest with you, we need to really take South Africans into confidence. Actually, this afternoon I was having a discussion with my team members that one of the things that we've got to do, and we must start right now, to start actually doing the audit of our infrastructure backlog, so that people of South Africa, when we take over, we remove ANC, people can really know that the problems that we are going to face are not going to be solved overnight. You're talking 15, 20 years down the line to really be able to repair the damage the ANC has really caused.
Herman Mashaba, thank you very much indeed. Founder of the People's Dialogue. Do appreciate the time. Thank you.